Welcome back, guys. I'm going to keep giving away these games. We did a part 1 video last time of a pickups video. We will be doing the part 2 of that pickups video, but I wanted to squeeze this video in because I just went to the con a few weeks ago. So I said I would randomize whoever left a comment and subscribed and liked on that last previous video, Daxter on the PSP, and the winner is, drumroll please, Surti. Hopefully I'm saying that right, at Surti. I will have my editor leave that name up in the corner here so you can see it. Please DM me on VG_Legends. That's my Twitter account, so I can get this game out to you. And also, I was giving away 2 games that previous video. Gran Turismo 4 goes to randomize, drum roll, Juby. And I will leave your name up in the corner here. Please DM me on Twitter so I can get this game out to you. Guys, it's all about positivity and love for me. Spreading positivity and love to the gaming community. You guys have been nothing but kind to me. I'm going to keep giving away these games, guys. So make sure you leave a comment on this video of what con you would like to go to if you've never been to one. Or if you have gone to a con, actually gone to a gaming con before, what was your experience like? Leave that in the comment section below. Like the video. Obviously, subscribe. And this is what I'm giving away, guys. It's spooky month. It's October. So this is... this is Resident Evil themed, and yes, it is a Resident Evil themed GameCube. Yes, I have one. It's beautiful. I'm going to be giving this away. Here's some video footage of it here, guys. You can see that Umbrella Corporation decal on the top there. It's just gorgeous. Blood splatter everywhere. And then I go around to the back here to show you. It says the words Umbrella, and it's black and red. That crimson red on the back there looks like blood. And it's got a hole on the side there, kind of like a zombie hole, which is really cool. And then I dim the lights here to show you the red light. When you hit power, you can see that red light on the top. And then I move down to the ports. For the controllers, you can see those red lights. And for 1, 2, 3, and 4, if you look really closely, those little tiny pinholes, there's red lights through there too. It's a beautiful system, guys. It works. I will be giving a controller away with it as well, but it's kind of a beat-up controller. See, I love you guys. So this is an amazing gift. I'm really excited to give this away for you guys. So hopefully you can leave a comment on this one so I can randomize who the winner will be. Let's get to it. Hello everyone, this is James with VG Legends. That stands for Video Gamers Legends. Now remember, I'm not a legend at all. I'm just a regular guy who loves and is very passionate about video games. Hey guys, a couple of weeks ago, I went to Cleveland, Ohio, went to the Cleveland Gaming Classic. I also went to game hunting at another store with my friends, hung out with them from Media Glitch as well, and I picked up a lot of games as well. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's do this. So this con in Cleveland, Ohio, I don't even know if you could call it a con because it's the first time they were hosting it, but it only lasted one day on a Saturday. So we drove up from 90 West from Buffalo. It's about a 2-hour and 40-minute drive to Cleveland. Not bad. My friend Jake and I went, and here's some video footage of us driving. This is actually of us coming back from the con, but just to give you a perspective of the city of Cleveland. But we drove up to the airport, and it's in this big IX Center, this big place where they host big events, and that's actually in the middle of nowhere. It's not in the middle of the city, and the place is huge. You walk into these main doors, and there's these big chandeliers you look up. I wish I would have got video footage of that, but we got early access at 11 a.m. so we could get to the vendors early, and then it really started picking up at 12. But if you can see on the top floor here, you see all these people. There was a few vendors on top, but not that many. And then on the other side of those vendors, actually, they had a bunch of randomized arcade machines, which was really cool. But then you won't go around this corner and you go down these escalator stairs, as you can see in the footage here, and this is where it really picked up. This is probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Just look at all these people, and this doesn't even do it justice, because I'll tell you what, it was packed in there, like beyond packed, and it started getting really hot in there. Here's some footage of my friend Jake. He was looking for some N64 games. I was really looking at Vita stuff. Really didn't find any Vita stuff that I wanted, and Super Nintendo stuff. I found some stuff as well, but I'll get to those pickups at the end of the video. But this is just to give you an idea. Here's me walking through the hall here, just to give you an idea at the beginning when there was less people here, just to give you what was here. Here's a video game museum to the right here. Now, when I walk forward here, you see this footage here. These were a bunch of randomized pinball machines that they had set up. And I gotta tell you, these were really awesome. The songs to them, the marquees, they lighted up really bright. This doesn't even do it justice, because at 12, when it got busy, these were absolutely packed the entire day. It was really, really cool to see. Now, also, they had these gaming rooms set up. Like, you went around the corner and there was this little arcade. I didn't get footage of the arcade because at that point, when my friends got there, we were just hanging out with them, so I didn't get as much footage. But when you went around here, there was another long hallway, and they had these different rooms. They had room A, room B, room C. And you can see from the video footage here, my friend Jake and I are playing Gunstar Heroes, and they had all these rooms with all these different CRT TVs set up with all these old retro systems, and it was really awesome to see. They were packed all day long. And also, here's some video footage here of us with these two random people. We were playing, I took the video here, but Jake was playing at this time, but I was playing before. We were playing 007 multiplayer, and I gotta tell you, that was a lot of fun on this N64 with 4 controllers, and we played for probably about an hour. That was really great. Surprisingly, I noticed they didn't have as many game vendors as I thought they would have. They were few and far between, but the ones they did had really good games and really good stuff. And the prices were pretty high. eBay prices or higher, actually inflated. But I did get some pretty good deals. So when I do show off the games that I picked up at the end, towards the end of this video, you'll see that. But I wanted to show you some unique and different vendors that they had, which was really cool. I don't have video footage of this vendor, but when you walk down the escalator stairs, and I'll show you the first thing I purchased, right to the right there was this vendor that was selling these 3D printed N64 games, looking games, which is really, really cool. So I can display this on my gaming shelf now. And I got Zelda Ocarina of Time. Yes, look how gorgeous that is. Because it is my favorite game of all time. Love that game. I've played it through a ton of times. More actually on the 3DS. That's my favorite version, but we will not get into that water level because it is absolutely terrible. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. And then you can see from the video footage here, there was toy vendors, a lot of toy vendors. Here's a Star Wars toy vendor here. This big, huge AT-AT you see, and all these cool Star Wars action figures, the old vintage ones, which I thought was really cool. Now I'm standing here with my friend Joel Valley. He wanted to buy a wallet, and because his was all beat up, so he wanted to buy a new one. But you can see the vendor actually was selling yarn art here too. You can see Dragon Quest they have here, I think Sonic, Master Chief, all these different ones, which I thought were really, really cool as well. So just to give you an idea, there was a lot of different unique vendors as well, which I thought was really awesome. Now, my favorite part of the con was I actually finally got to meet my friends. My friend Jake and I finally met up with my friends from Media Glitch, Joe Valley from Media Glitch, really great friend of mine now, Radical Reggie, you all know who that is, John from Intrigue Gaming, and Cag from King Ericon Gaming. It was so awesome to hang out with them. A couple of them had their kids with them. It was really cool. They were really humble. They were really great people. And I actually got them all gifts because I wanted to show them tailored to what they like, because I wanted to show them how much I appreciate them. Here's some video footage of Joel and me. I got him a poster because he loves Shinobi. Cag got this signed. I got him a Mortal Kombat controller, and here's video footage of him getting it signed from the Mortal Kombat guys were there. I don't remember what their names are, but Kung Lao was there, and Jax was there from the original games, and I don't know who else was signing his game, but I thought that was really cool. But just to let you guys all know, gaming is not just about games, okay? It's about I'll throw some words out at you. It's about friendship. It's about fun. It's about positivity. And it's about love. And I'll tell you what, I had a great time with these guys, just kicking back, hanging out, going to some game vendors, picking up games, talking about video games, and then going to another, gaming store, the Video Game Connection. This is us, because CAG's from Cleveland, so we took a ride. We left the con. We went to Video Game Connection in West Cleveland, and Reggie rode with Jake and I. We had a great time. We got there, and here's a video footage of us walking in, Joel showing up the sign, John's laughing. It's all about having fun, and I'll tell you right now, helping each other out too. Joel wanted Dragon Quest 11, so since he wanted that game, I slipped in. Him and Radical Reggie are fighting. They're trying to drop down the price. I slipped in, gave the guy $50. He dropped it down to $50. Here, it's yours, Joel. Joel couldn't believe it. I gave it to. See, Joel was at that vendor, that Yarden vendor, and he wanted a wallet. I saw this awesome Zelda wallet. I wanted that one. He's like, I got it for you, bro. He bought it for me. We're in the Video Game Connection store, and my friend Jake, since I bought the tickets for him, here's video footage of him buying me. He bought me a yellow N64 controller that I remember having as a kid, and I needed an extra one. Just, you always got each other's backs, and that's what it's all about, guys. And I'm telling you right now, to finally hang out with your friends that live all across the country, that are great in the gaming community, it doesn't get any better than that, man. All right, let's move on to the games. What we actually picked up, Jake and I, like I said, had early access. So from 11 to noon, we saw most of the vendors. I was looking for PS Vita stuff, couldn't find anything really. But I got some Super Nintendo stuff. But if you guys don't know who the voice of NBA Jam is, his name is Tim Kitzrow, and he was there. And I walk up to his table, and I have a copy of Super Nintendo version. And I walk up, I'm like, Tim, can you sign my Super Nintendo copy of NBA Jam? He's like, sure, what's your name? I'm like, James. He's like, James from downtown, boom shakalaka, which I thought was really awesome. But here it is. As you can see in the top right corner, it says to James, boom shakalaka, and his signature. Awesome. Here's some footage of him actually signing it as well. I'll always treasure this in my collection because that was a really cool experience. But now on to the actual games that I picked up. So I walk up to this one vendor, and he's got Panzer Dragoon, the limited run version here on the Nintendo Switch. It's the only physical version they made. It was digital when it came out in 2020 on all platforms, Steam as well. And I thought $40 is a pretty good price for a limited run game, so I thought I'd pick it up. Man, I used to play this game on the original Xbox. Such an awesome game, the old one, the old version. But I've played a couple levels already of this game. It is really cool. Basically a rail shooter, but I don't like those little square targets, like how they get smaller. It's hard to see. But once I got the mechanics down, it was cool. It's a really cool game. But it didn't come with the soundtrack, but I figured $40. Might as well pick it up. I thought it was a pretty good steal. So have you ever seen the movie Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger? He's like in a video game. He's stuck in an actual game show, and people are trying to actually murder him. That's the name of the game. He's got to survive. And there's a host, and there's people watching, and it's really crazy. Well, that's Super Smash TV for the Super Nintendo, the twin stick shooter. This is the sequel. And I like Super Smash TV better, but I picked up Total Carnage on the Super Nintendo. Now, this takes place actually in the Middle East, and it's actually a war zone, and you're actually fighting, going after this protagonist. But the twin-stick shooter thing works really well on the Super Nintendo because it's got the 4 buttons, and the D-pad's really nice on the Super Nintendo controller as well. I love the Super Nintendo controller. Awesome game, though. I've already played a couple levels. You got to definitely pick up the... when you're playing, you'll die really quickly. This game is better to play solo than it is co-op, because co-op, for some reason, you just get slaughtered. But there's these dog tags that you got to pick up to get extra lives. But they spawn in the levels randomly, but they go away quickly, so you got to look for them. Really, really cool twin-stick shooter on the Super Nintendo. Then I got Super R-Type. I'm not really good at shmups and never really been good at them. And a lot of people, when it comes to this game, they like the later installments, like 2 and 3, better because they're a little bit faster paced. The original is really slow paced, but for me, since I'm not very good at shmups, I actually like it. And I was still doing really bad when I was having trouble by the time I got to the second and third levels. But it's very slow moving, as you can see from the footage here. Very slow when you move your spaceship here. Awesome, awesome, though. I really do like this as a shmup game. It could be one of my favorites on the Super Nintendo, just because it's at a slow-moving pace. So I actually got Lethal Enforcers 2 on the Super Nintendo, which was originally an arcade game made in 1992, and then they made it by Konami, and then they made it on all the other platforms like Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. What I like about it, I was playing with my son for a couple days, the day I got it and a couple days after. It's like really digitally made sprites, so it's like photorealistic kind of. Back then we thought that looked real. So like, there's a scene here where there's a car and the side of a building, and it looks pretty cool, actually. The enemies spawn out, and you basically got to lock on them and shoot them. With the controller, though, it's kind of janky. It's hard to lock on them, and I'm always hitting the hostages, just like, oh no, don't shoot me, and I'm always having trouble. And I shoot really fast, so I'm shooting them, or the cops that come around the corner that are trying to shoot the enemies as well. But it'd be better if we actually did have the light gun. I actually thought I saw one at the con, but it was for a different system, that blue revolver light gun. But I heard that you can't play in both ports, use two light guns at the same time. You can only use one controller and one gun, which is actually a downgrade for me. But it's a cool arcade game for what it is. And the score of the day that I got was actually at that Video Connection store that we went west of Cleveland in Cag's hometown. We had a lot of fun in there. I'll tell you, the owner was a really cool guy, really down to earth, and it was a very small store, but he had a lot of array of stuff. I'll show you some video footage here that I didn't show you from before. He had this array of Super Nintendo games here, these cool posters on the walls. I rise up here too. He also had, a Sega Genesis in the box, complete mint, and I think it was like $117. Jake almost pulled the trigger on it. I almost pulled the trigger on it. We were all looking at it. It was really cool. He had TV set up as well where you could play some retro games. It was cool. We had a good experience in there. But my score of the day was Zelda: A Link to the Past in the box. The game is actually in here, and it's a very clean cart. And you can see here the price, $59. That is a steal. It goes so high online on eBay right now. Now the box is pretty beat up and there's no manual, but I figured for $60, man. And John's like, oh man, what'd you get, VG? Oh man, I was looking at that game. I was gonna get it. And I pulled the trigger on it. So really happy to have that in my collection because I'm getting Super Nintendo stuff right now. Really cool experience. That store was fun, and it was a great way to end the day. After that, Jake and I had to leave, but really cool experience being in that Video Connection store. All right, guys, that's the end of today's video. What could I take away from the Cleveland Gaming Classic, my first con? Well, it was very successful, you can tell, because there was a lot of people there. I think there should be more game vendors, and I think because of their success, if they do it next year and break it up into 3 days, maybe a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or even just a Saturday and Sunday or a Friday and Saturday, they would do very much more well, and they could, knock down some of that traffic so people could get to the actual game vendors. But I had a great time, got to hang out with my friends, got some awesome pickups as well. It doesn't get any better than that, guys. Remember, whatever it is that you do that's involved in gaming in your life, always keep it legendary. Please like, comment, subscribe so you have a chance to win that Resident Evil themed GameCube. We'll see you for the next one, guys. Peace out.